Bienvenidos a EsperanzaVence, donde la esperanza vence. Welcome to EsperanzaVence, where hope wins. Happy Lunar New Year! Guess what I'm doing after KWIK HIT's Tarot? I'll give you a little guess. Ooh, pot stickers. Yum, huh? Can you see? I think you can see. Isn't that fun? Yum. What are you gonna do to make like a symbolic, I've really been thinking about symbols a lot lately. It's kind of what I do, right? With the cards and, looking at the chart and seeing symbols. But in my physical, body, I like to make physical representations of the energetics, and I find it to be really fun and just a fun little way to add a little magic to my day, to my experience, right? So, you don't need an excuse or a date to do such things. I also wanted to show you, don't you love those earrings? Yeah, so my best friend from when I was growing up, she gave me these earrings for my birthday. A couple of years ago, we went to Nashville and we hung out with our other friend Care Bear, and it was so much fun. And then I wanted to draw your attention also to this necklace. Can you see how pretty that is? Can I hold still enough for you to see it? It says the star. And my friend Mary, the Grateful Gardener, gave that to me for my birthday a few years ago too. And then this beautiful, the softest, this is literally the softest cashmere sweater in the world. And my friend Eileen gave this one to me. So I'm celebrating Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year with gold and red and friendship. And snacks. Always gotta have the snacks. In fact, I just went with my friends. I just went with Eileen, actually, and her daughter and her boyfriend, and we went and got snacks. And yeah, so now I'm back here. I'm gonna do this video. And since we're ushering in Fire Horse energy, of course we gotta have a little fire with us, right? I'll set that over here. And today I'm going to work with the Morgan Greer Tarot. I've been working with this tarot deck lately. Oddly enough, I don't want to tell you this, but it's true. The Rider-Waite Tarot deck that I use, my client deck, my YouTube deck, that's my working deck. That's the deck that I use all the time. It talks to me. It's gone. I have no idea where it is. I use this deck daily until a week ago. Maybe the deck was mad because I cheated on the deck. I started using these other decks, and then my regular deck was deuces, I'm out. You want to play around? I'm leaving, but literally I have searched high and low and hither and yon, and I can't find my Radiant Rider-Waite deck. So it's Aquarius season. We're working with different decks anyway, but this is actually one of the first decks that I ever worked with, ever. And this illustrations on this deck, they remind me of cartoons from my childhood, The Hobbit, the animated one. Love that movie. So that's what we're going to work with today. As you well know, today is the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, okay? we have a lot going on in the astrology today. I'd really like to draw attention to Mercury and Jupiter is still working with that trine. That can add a lot of spirituality into our communications, and we can really be in tune with our highest selves, right? As we go through our day-to-day. Mercury is not necessarily comfortable in Pisces. He's a little foggy. It's kind of hard for him to breathe in all that water. But I do think that that's a beneficial energy that is buoying us while we navigate the waters of the sun and moon squaring off with Uranus. Okay? So, eclipse energy, by the way, if you happen to be in Antarctica, don't look at it. Eclipse energy well, it breathes a breath of change into the air, okay? Just like a new moon, right? And this new moon happens to denote a section of time that's very, very important for so many people on this planet. So many people on this planet usher in New Year energy at this time of year. So, like, well, you know me, you don't have to give me an excuse to party. Of course I'm celebrating symbolically, spiritually, and otherwise. And God bless, you know? I would like to point out that in this chart, I find it so interesting how things are pairing up. The sun and the moon are paired up. Vesta and Mars are paired up at 19 degrees. Vesta and Mars are paired up at 19 degrees. The sun and the moon are at 28 degrees, 28, 50, 29, let's say 29 degrees or so. And Venus and the North Node are paired up right around 8 degrees. So Venus and the North Node are kind of working together. Venus in Pisces, actually, that's her exaltation. Like, not only is she comfortable, but like she's at her homie's Airbnb, for example. And she is an honored guest in this house of Pisces. So with her working with the North Node, remember Mercury was with the North Node like last Friday or so. And Mercury's moved on ahead. Mercury is about to catch up to Saturn and tell Papa Saturn what everybody's been up to back when Mercury was conjunct Pluto a few weeks ago, right? Very close to the last lunation, the full moon in Leo. Mercury was really close to Pluto. I can't remember if he had just conjunct or he was about to. But I feel like Mercury has gone through. Mercury checked out Pluto, what all the dirty deeds were, came through, spoke with Mars, spoke with the sun, spoke with the moon, spoke with Venus, you know, kind of got all the gossip from everybody. And now Mercury's going to go tattle to Saturn, newly in Aries. Aries, fire energy, aggression, action, forward motion, going after, go-getter energy. Thing about Mars is that Mars is also very strategic when he wants to be. Mars really can plan on the battlefield when he wants to, right? He's not just like guns out, suns out all the time. You know what I'm saying? With Mars being over here in Aquarius, that's more mental, and that's more vibes, and that's more low-key. You know, the Aquarius is like the one at the party that's like in the back of the room, kind of like checking everybody else out or holding it down on the back of the dance floor. Aquarius is like blending into the fabric of reality, right? So with Mars in Aquarius, with Vesta you know, and Vesta is that eternal flame that stays lit. So people really feel like they really feel some kind of way, right? So they're going to be in action for and in defense of what really matters to them personally. Okay? This is personal. Even though this is a new moon solar eclipse, which is usually in the news more having to do with personalities, a solar eclipse. Lunar eclipse would be more like people, like you and me. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out personally, because in addition to the lunation, like I said, we have all these twins, these people, these pairs twinning in the chart. Like I said, Mars and Vesta at 19 degrees Aquarius, the Sun and the Moon at 28, 29 degrees Aquarius. We have the North Node in Venus right around 8 degrees Aquarius, or I'm sorry, right around 8 degrees of Pisces. Then we have, you know, Mercury is talking to Jupiter. Mercury's at about 16 degrees of Pisces, talking to Jupiter at about 15 degrees of Cancer. Then we have, of course, Saturn and Neptune, both at 0 degrees of Aries. There's a lot going on besides this eclipse. So Friday, why don't you come back and join me, and we'll talk way more about what's going on in the astrology. I've already kind of belabored the point, but if you would like to, please like, share, subscribe, and then you'll be notified when I go live on Friday. I haven't quite decided what time yet. Friday, God willing. And then at the end of this video, I have started to do a new format with these Quick Hits Tarots, to where at the end of the video, I do spend like a minute or two just talking about the astrology chart. So you can, I put up a visual of the chart and I talk about it a little bit. So if you want to join me, I just got a jumper. Ooh, I got the devil reversed. Wow. Time to get a hold of, you know, it looks like we've done the work that we needed to do to get a hold of our addictive processes, to get a hold of our addiction to earthly matters, like our cycles that are no longer working, like the devil reversed. Ooh, another thing that this could be is like in the news and stuff, people who have been doing wrong, like they might get their comeuppance. So this is gonna be the energy that flavors our reading for today. How appropriate. Devil reversed. Oh, you know what song just came in my head? Do you guys remember the Foo Schnickens back in the day? Al Dog, Unc Alfonso, I don't know what he calls himself now. I'm sure he doesn't watch these videos, but that motherfucker would remember the Foo Schnickens. Dude, the Foo Schnickens, I think it was the Foo Schnickens. They used to have this song, and it went, buck the devil, buck the devil, buck the devil, give a nigga, give a nigga, give a nigga room. Must be a full moon. Here comes a tomb. Bullet flies overhead, boom, boom, boom. A to the K to the 4 to the 7. Little devils don't go to heaven. Yes. Yes. That is a side of me. But I can't remember if it was the Foo Schnickens or if it was the Lench Mob. I think it was actually the Lench Mob. Do you remember the Lench Mob? Okay, everybody knows who Ice Cube is, right? But do you remember the Lench Mob? I think it was from the Gorillas in the Mist album. Yeah. All right. Will somebody correct me in the comments, like, Buck the Devil? Buck the Devil. Is that the Foo Schnickens or is that the Lench Mob? Question of the day. From Esperanzavence. Ooh. Okay. So now that we got our jumper and it's flavorful, we will pray over these cards and pull our Quick Hits Tarot. Thanks so much for being with me. Near past, present tense, near future. Oh, actually, well, whatever. I can still lift them up the way I want to. Oh, cool. Yeah, cool. All right. We got a 4 of Cups, an Ace of Pentacles, and an Ace of Wands reversed. Can you see? I'm still like, I do this every day, and still like the mirroring effect still fucks with me. It fucks me up. Can you see? 4 of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Wands reversed. Well, I mean, for a 3-card pull out of 78 cards and to get 2 aces, that's chill, right? This is some pretty powerful energy. I'm not surprised that this is our eclipse spread. I mean, that's, you know, that's just how it goes. Like when you book a reading with me, I know you're going to love it. Today, I did just card readings today. Like, it goes in waves. Like, sometimes people are like more like, hey, what's my astrology doing? And then other times people are just wanting to deepen into their intuition and really just, and I feel like the cards are a really good tool for that just because of the visual. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry looks at a chart and sees visuals. You know what I mean? Some of us look at a chart and we see numbers and shapes and stuff, but like I see visuals. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you guys have seen me doodle on the chart. And if you're new here, maybe you haven't, but thanks for being here. Every new and full moon, except for this one, I'm waiting until Friday. But I will talk about this new moon and I will talk about this eclipse because by then, you know, the moon will have started to crest. And that's the time when we want to start to talk into reality and start to make things active. But this solar eclipse, working with this energy for me, like, it's dark and I'm laying low. I'm not saying that the moon is bad energy or anything like that. Do what you want. But for me, in the dark of the moon, and even into a new moon, like sometimes I'm just like a little bit low energy and chilling. You know what I mean? 4 of Cups is an energy of chilling. 4 of Cups is an energy of like sitting this one out. 4 of Cups is like usually in the Rider-Waite in the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck. It's a person who is like really fixated on 3 cups, and then this Ace of Cups is trying to get gifted to them and they don't see it. They don't understand. But in this one, the character is looking right at that cup that's being offered to them from heaven in the clouds. And they're still just like chilling in their own forest. They're doing their own thing. They're growing their own greens. You know, they're not in the mood right now. So yeah, I mean, some of us might be more in the mood for sitting this one out. Okay. With the Ace of Pentacles, this is great energy for like planting new seeds. And this is what we will do on Friday. On Friday, we will start to plant new seeds. Now is the time when we separate our seeds, decide what we're going to put in the flower beds, where our metaphorical, esoteric flower beds, right? Or maybe even our real flower beds. For some people, it's about that time of year, you know, or even if you're going to go in the greenhouse and get ready. Ace of Pentacles is that like earthly gift from heaven. You know, you might get surprised with a lovely gift, right? A physical gift, or, you know, like a physical gift, you know, or you might be gifted with some inspiration about how to invest your pennies, your pentacles, right? Your seeds, okay? And grow them on a peaceful path so that they bloom into these beautiful roses and lilies, peaceful, loving, beautiful flowers, right? And with the Ace of Wands reversed, we just got to make sure that our fire is getting channeled appropriately. With the Ace of Wands reversed, we run the risk of starting things up and then running out of gas, or lighting a match and having the wind blow it out. That Aquarian wind can blow cold and clean and crisp, but we got to make sure that that Aquarius air is enforcing our flame and not like blowing it out. Okay? So that is our Quick Hits Tarot for the new moon solar eclipse today, 17th of February 2026. And stay tuned. In a minute here, in a second or two, we'll talk a little bit about the astrology. Enjoy. I love you. It is the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, and all I can think about right now is electricity. I can hear all the appliances just buzzing in the house, and we had a fake internet outage followed by a fake storm yesterday. You know, everything just seems very planned and applied by human means, and that's going to be interesting. That's sort of like that devil reverse energy of, you know, people trying to take control of worldly affairs, right? So as you can see, the sun and the moon are conjunct right around 29 degrees. Our part of fortune is following not too far behind. We do have, you know, Juno sextiling Mercury, making a trine with Jupiter, sextiling our vertex. So there is sort of a container for some of this electricity to bounce around in. Okay, so there is some sort of level of channeling this energy. As they always say, a calm nervous system is the biggest flex, and I can't wait to tell you more about the visuals that I see in this chart. We will be meeting up on Friday the 20th for the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. Love you. See you soon. Thanks for fine-tuning your free will and intuition with me.